Perfect. So I'm very, very excited to be here with all of you. And so, how would you like this? A teacher student type of a conversation or an interactive one to one adult conversation? You can send your message in the chat. Yeah, can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, please say yes.
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Perfect. So I've got some messages on this should be an interactive one. Perfect. So why do I ask this question? Generally is to know how present are people in this session. So I think all of you can clap for your own self wherever you are sitting because you have passed the first test. All of you are awake. It is not a post lunch sleeping time. And I am very, very excited to be here. So when you think of emotional eating and wellness, what comes to your mind? Does something come to your mind? Pizza, okay. What else? Food, okay. Anything else? Love for food, chai, kadak chai, biryani. Eating food to avoid dealing with our emotions. Pani puri, dum biryani. What taste buds require? Ice cream, chocolates. Right, binge eating. Okay. And has emotional eating increased when we are working from home or has it not increased? Yes or no? Yeah, so I'm getting a mixed response, but I think 70% is yes. And that is the feedback I got. And therefore, when I was asked for a topic, I thought this is an amazing topic to talk about. And today it has become even more relevant. Why? Any guesses why it has become more relevant? Yes, liquor is emotional eating most of the times. Why has it become more relevant today after what has happened just this week? Sushant's episode, Sushant's suicide. How does that make this more relevant? Any thoughts? How does that make it more relevant? Any thoughts on that? So, emotional eating indicates that we are stressed or our hormones are in imbalance. Right? And whenever stress is more or hormones become imbalanced, and the first thing we go to is food to find the comfort there. Right? And I will start with my story and then move on how this helps. So I will read chats in between, but currently I'm just putting that on pause. So are you guys ready to hear my story? If yes, please write yes in the chat box. Okay. If we have 500 people and I've got 50 yes, means the rest of them are not present, right? Can I have all 500 yes here? Wow, this is flowing now. Yes. So let me just start my PPT and share it. Give me a minute. And here I go. Just give me a minute. I'm now going to share my screen with you. And we will be there. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen? Perfect. So you can see my screen, and my screen is all cluttered. But let me have my PPT here. Yes. Okay. So emotional eating and wellness. As you know, I'm an MBBS doctor and now practice functional medicine. So functional medicine works on the cause of the problem. डायबिटीज है तो क्यों है, डिप्रेशन है तो क्यों है, स्ट्रेस है तो क्यों है. So whatever is the cause, we find that out and we work on that. Okay. So I am a part of education committee. I work very closely with ASSOCHAM, helping them build mental health protocols and school health programs. I am also on panel discussions where, we talk about how medicine is being abused, how healthcare needs to become more ethical. And of course, I mentor entrepreneurs. I have created a program, Become a Superwoman, and I work with women very, very closely. And I have helped a lot of women transform themselves period of time. And this was me in the blue lehenga about 10 years back. And do you want to see how do I look now? And this is how I look now. And I was like this. Since my childhood, I was always obese, I was always fat. And of course, after my pregnancies, I became very, very obese. And I used to try a lot of diets, exercise. I used to lose weight, but again to gain it back. So it was like that weight has decided to fall in love with me and it was not happy to leave me at all. So what happened in my life that from that I became this? I realized that I am an emotional eater. And that took me back to the fact that because I'm an emotional eater, I follow a diet or I stay within a plan for few days or few hours, and then suddenly emotion hits me and I go and buy a chocolate or an ice cream and eat the whole stuff. Right? Can you relate to this? Right. And suddenly, while I was working with my clients, I realized that this is a big problem a lot of us face. And I started working on it. And when I started working on it, I have never looked back. I am able to eat whatever I want to eat. I do not follow diets. And I have maintained myself in the new avatar for more than 5-6 years now. So if you like this story and my transformation, please give me a smiley in the chat box. Perfect. So before we move on to understand what I did and what do I mean by emotional eating, I want all of you to join me in a visualization exercise. So are all of you ready?
Yes.
Great. So can I see some more yes in the chat box? Perfect. So we will do a visualization exercise. Please follow me the way I say, and let's see what comes out of it. So just close your eyes and visualize your favorite food. So once you see that food, visualize with whom you had it for the first time. What was that situation? When do you generally have it? So just go deeper and visualize different scenes when you have it, your favorite food. So for example, my favorite food is aate ka halwa. Why? Because it has lots of memories with it. So I'm from Punjab. So whenever I used to go to a Gurdwara, I used to go there more often than normal because I used to love the prasad they serve. And every time I used to come back home and tell my mom, this is so tasty and yummy. And whenever there used to be rains, I love rains. So I used to enjoy that kara prasad. And that gave me a lot of happiness and sakoon. And even now, that's my go-to food when I have to go to. So similarly, you please have food and see with whom you enjoy it more, how you generally have it. And now visualize how that food makes you feel. How that makes you feel before you have eaten it, and how that makes you feel after you have eaten it. And few hours after you have eaten it. Perfect. So open your eyes. Yeah. And do you have a pen and paper with you? So please type in the chat box first, what was your favorite food which you visualized? Rajma rice, biryani, dosa, ice cream, butter chicken with garlic naan, dum biryani, ice cream. But I'm not getting as many answers as participants we have. Perfect. What did you feel when you were visualizing this food? Garlic bread, pizza, kebab, biryani. I see a lot of healthy guys on the call today. Because generally when people visualize food, they visualize desserts, they visualize chocolates and ice creams and burgers and pizzas. Right. So I feel like I should have now. Perfect. So how did you feel when you were visualizing that? What was your feeling initially? And what was your feeling, how do you feel when you take that food, say, after an hour? And this is extremely important. You must do this properly because this is going to bring out a very, 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 very critical thing, which is important for us to know. Mom made food. Very rightly said, Tanushri. Satisfied? Okay. What did others feel? I only have one answer on the feeling. Exciting before eating food and felt very happy and satisfied after eating it. Content. What else did we feel? So anybody who wrote pizza, ice cream, and stuff like that, what did they feel after? Guilt? Yes. Sleepy? Yes. Before it is fun, but later on you filled with guilt. Exactly. And this is what is emotional eating. Right? So let's look at how emotional eating happens or why it happens. Emotional eating generally happens with stress. Right? Also, emotional eating has lots of memories and beliefs associated with it. So do I have a permission to share a story with you here? If yes, please type yes in the chat box, and if no, please type no. Okay. Thank you for your permission. So there was this girl who approached me for weight loss, right? She was 32 years old and she had never been slim, and she had tried almost every nutritionist she had heard of. So when we were talking to her, what came out was very surprising, and that was one of my reasons to go into this topic even deeper. What came out was she shared with me that when she was young, in her family, there was a lot of stress to be good, to do good in studies, to be good mannered. And somehow she was the youngest. So despite the fact that she tried very much, she always used to feel she's not sufficient or she's not enough. Now, because of that, what she used to do was, just to cope up with her loneliness or with her feeling of insufficiency or not being enough, she used to pick up some food. And what she shared me was, very natural with emotional eaters, but we somehow miss it. She used to take it in her room and eat that food in her room alone to counter her stress and her loneliness. So since childhood, her habit was, whenever she will have to do any performance, whenever there will be people in the house, whenever there will be something where she's stressed, she will take her pizza or burger or breads. She will take her cold drink and pastries and sugary cookies and all, go to her room, sit with her food and eat it. So what did that result into? This became her habit. And even at 32, when she came to me, she could not leave that habit, and she never noticed that too. Right? Because she was doing it so naturally, she never noticed that. So when I was questioning her and I made her visualize stuff, she opened her eyes and said, I visualize something which I do very regularly. I said, what? She says, every time I'm stressed or somebody is home and I have to perform, I pick up a lot of food like this, go in my room and enjoy it, and then do not sleep the whole night because of feeling of guilt. And now she's not obese, she's fit, and she does not have this habit. Because the moment you know what is the problem, correcting the problem becomes very easy. Yes or no? From whatever fields you are, I think you will agree with me. The problem finding is the biggest thing. Once you find the problem, then finding the solution is not that difficult. Yes? Yes. So I've got lots of yes. I think maximum yes on this. So very good. So we found the cause and we moved further. And that was what was cool about it. So let's see, emotional eating. What does it do when we are stressed? Why do we eat? So what happens is, you can see the picture here. What do you feel? Is he stressed? Is he relaxed? Is he just enjoying life peacefully? What can you see? Cool and happy. Yes, I've only got one answer. Others think that he's stressed. Cool and happy, happy, right. And what is it that you see here? Is he still cool and happy? Is he still cool and happy? Run and wanting to save his life. Yes, he's very stressed. When you are about to lose your life, there can be no bigger stress than that, right? He's aggressive, he's fearful, he's scared. Right. Yes. Perfect. So are these two states different? Yes or no? Yes. So what will happen is, in the first state, you will only eat what you want to eat. But in the second state, our stress hormone, which is cortisol, it increases. Now, when our stress hormone increases, what does it want? It wants sugar. What does it want? Sugar. Why sugar? Because for our brain, the fastest food which can be given to brain is sugar. If you remember your childhood days, your parents would tell you, have a banana, before you go to school for your exam, right? Or even when you go for exercise, they say take simple carbs because your brain needs sugar, and that's the fastest way to give brain sugar. And what happens later? Because of this sugar, you gain weight on your abdomen and the fat starts reserving there, right? Now, when this cortisol elevates because of stress and your brain wants sugar, your brain becomes a monster. And when your brain becomes a monster, what happens? You are forced to go to the fridge or to the kitchen or to the grocery shop. And generally, these are times when you will buy sugary foods. So let me share a recent study which has been published. And, generally such emotional eating studies are done on women. But this study has been done on men. So there were 50 men who were taken for this study. Their hands were put in cold water for 3 hours continuously. Why was this done? So that they feel the stress, right? Now, once this was done, when they were stressed, they were offered 2 types of food. On one side, they were offered salads, broccoli, biryani, and rajma chawal. And on the other side, they were offered pizzas and burgers and pastries and cakes. And what did they choose? The group which had been put under stress by making them put their hands in chilling cold water for 3 hours, all of them chose pizzas and burgers and sugary foods. And the other group, which was not stressed out, chose the healthy options. This was not all. They did MRI of all these 50 men, and what they found was that when we are stressed, we eat sugary foods because the part of our brain which is involved in goal setting and scheduling becomes less active. Whereas the part of the brain which is involved in, desires and wants and entertainments, that becomes more active. And therefore, they summed up saying that willpower is the biggest bullshit word which has been created in the dictionary. Right? And why did they say this? Because they said that now from these studies, we are very clear that willpower is nothing. Is this a good news or a bad news? Good news or a bad news? Surprised. Bad news. I thought it was the good news. You know why? Because till then, I always used to, in self talk, tell myself, Preeti, you've done so much in life. You are a doctor, you are an MBA, you are a certified executive coach from US, you are a fellowship holder in functional medicine, you have worked in so many companies, you have managed teams of 4,000 plus, you've raised two sons, 25 and 23. But when it comes to food, you are not able to have that willpower to control your emotional eating. So I used to really feel very guilty, very sad. But after seeing these studies, I realized it was not my fault. I was just doing too much of multitasking, not realizing that when I'm running, like in that picture, I am putting my body into stress, though I'm not realizing it, but I am. And because of that, I do emotional eating. Wow, this was such a good news for me. And I'm sure all those people who are sitting here who have ever done emotional eating, they will relate to this and they will now know that you have more control over yourself. It is not about willpower. It is just about scheduling and setting your priorities right so that you do not get your body into stress and everything will be all right. Yes? Perfect. How many of you think that if you just listen, you gain what you should be gaining from this session? Say yes if you think that only listening is enough. And say no if you think that listening is not enough. Right. So I got few yes, but a lot of no's now. And why do I say that? When we were children, we were always told, when you learn something, write it if you don't want to forget it for a long time. Yes or no? Yes. If you are not participating in the chat, whose loss is that? Mine or yours? Or nobody's? Yours. You know why? Because the side of brain which takes actions, which makes you do these things for your betterment, gets activated when you type. So I am not making you type only because I want to see whether you are awake or not. I am making you type because I am wanting that you feel what I have gone through and a lot of us go through. Because unless you feel that, you will not be able to implement that in your life. And I am yet to meet somebody who has never done emotional eating in life. I'm yet to meet somebody. So if somebody says that, I've never done emotional eating, so maybe this is not for me, I'm just here for attendance, I would just tell him, keep quiet. I don't believe it, because every person who is a human being does come under stress. And when they come under stress, their cortisol increases, they need sugar, and they do emotional eating. Right? So thank you to all those who have responded to me, and let's now continue and see what I want to tell you. So see what happens. 6 a.m. in the morning, our cortisol starts increasing. Till 6 p.m., the cortisol is there. It helps us stay alert, right? At night, the cortisol dips, and when it dips, we go into restorative sleep. This is the normal cycle of cortisol. Now let's look at what happens when we are in chronic stress. Of course, I've shared with you, when we are in chronic stress, the cortisol gets elevated, right? And look what happens. Cortisol is almost skyrocketing. And even at night, it is more than what it is. So what does it lead to? It makes us do emotional eating, which includes carbs, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, drugs, smoking, all of that. We are not as alert as we want to be. We feel fatigued, right? But remember, it is not your willpower which is weak. These are your actions which are increasing cortisol in your body, which is resulting in this. So if your perspective changed, if something shifted within you, please give me a smiley in the chat box. If something shifted within you, please give me a smiley in the chat box. I've only got 2 smileys, 5, 7. I need more energy to continue. I need more smileys, please. Perfect. So this is extremely important for us to know. So it's very important to realize that our habits are part of who we are. And habits make us function and survive. Can you imagine if every time when you were to eat food, you had to learn how to eat food? How would life be? Can you imagine every time you got up in the morning, you had to start your day by learning to walk, by learning to brush your teeth? Right? We can't even imagine that. Yes? Because of habit. It has become a habit. We don't have to really remember also how to move or brush or where to go. Because through habits, our regular chores are done seamlessly throughout our life once we have learned them. Our brain wiring triggers our reactions and we keep doing. But look at this slide. What is this showing? This is showing that we are hardwired for survival. We will do anything to survive. What will we do? We will do anything to survive, right? So what happens is, even if we know that emotional eating is not good, if we keep getting in stress, there is no way we will be able to get out of emotional eating, because that's the habit we have developed. Right? Why? Because we are hardwired for survival. So what do we have to do? We have to cut this. We have to decrease this, right? And second is we have to cut this next cycle where food comes in picture, right? So let's do a small exercise. Either you can write in the chat box or you can write on a pen and paper. So quickly name, what is your favorite comfort food? When you are stressed, what is it that you want to eat? So we did this in visualization, so this should be easy for you. What feelings come after eating it? Right. What feelings come right before eating it? While you are eating it? Cravings, blinking eyes, relaxation, yes. Mom sandish, yes. Very right. Pudding, enjoying. After eating it, how do you feel? Right. So if we have eaten within our limits, we feel good. If we know that we have done something wrong, we'll gain weight tomorrow, we'll feel sleepy, we'll feel tired, then we don't feel good. We feel guilty and shameful, right? So what are the emotions, positive emotions you feel when you eat your favorite food? Positive emotions. Quickly mention positive emotions which you feel when you eat your favorite food. Joy, happiness, positive, energetic, yes. Happy, satisfied, yes. Appreciation, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness for yourself and for others. Yes or no? So whenever we have a fight with a friend, what do? We tell them, come, let's go and have a cup of coffee. Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because we know from years and years and years and from our experience also that good food can take care of everything, right? So we all have heard, in old days they used to say, way to a man's heart is through the taste of the food you serve him, right? Because that time that was very important. And now we know that if we have to make ourselves happy, our friends happy, good food is important. Yes or no? So Swiggies and Zomatos are really adding a lot in our lives, right? What are the negative feelings come to your mind when you eat, do emotional eating? Negative feelings. Overweight, yes. So for me, it was always lack of willpower. Guilt of gaining weight. What else? Laziness. Anger. Bored. Lonely. Deprived. Frustrated. Anxious. Do you feel this if by chance you're sitting alone and eating junk food? Gaining weight is a major factor, yes, for all those who gain weight. But all those who have mood swings, right? And because of their mood, they order junk food, they do emotional eating, they feel really deprived and frustrated and anxious. And it's very important for us to note here is that this is the reason we should be very, very, very clear on how are we feeling when we are eating and after we are eating. What happens is when we are eating, we do focus on the taste and the taste buds, right? But what we don't do is we do not think about how it makes us feel then or later. If we start focusing there also, what will happen? We will get to know our problem early on and we will be able to find a solution early on. And we will not waste any minute, any day thinking and spending with these stressful emotions. Yes? Perfect. So I want to give all of you 3 minutes by watch. How many of you know how to do a mind map? Eating itself is a huge emotion. And eating is something which we cannot not do even for a day, it becomes difficult. And therefore, our relationship with food becomes very important. Depressed cause I can't eat junk food. But now you know what junk food does to you, right? So will you still want to do it? Will you still want your, monster brain to rule you? Perfect. So mind map is with lines you draw and write with one word in the center. So what you are going to do is on the center of the page, you're going to write emotional eating. And from that, you're going to take out lines. And on one side, you're going to write your favorite foods. You're going to write what you feel before that, after that, few hours after that. How do you do it generally? When do you do it? Do you eat alone? Do you eat with friends? anything about emotional eating which comes in your mind, you just have to write it on that paper. So all those who don't have any idea about mind map, don't worry. Just write emotional eating in the center and keep drawing lines and writing whatever we have discussed till now. Your favorite food, something will come out on that paper then. Your favorite food, your feelings around that food, timing of that food, frequency of that food. I just want all of you to revise what all we have discussed till now. So write it on a paper. Two minutes. So have we written it? If some of you have written it, do yes. Yes, done. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes. You can keep working on this mind map even after this session for next week or 2 weeks, and you will realize amazing stuff will come up, and you, for a lot of you. Great. So continue. So what happens is, because of how we feel when we eat, we develop some eating patterns. And we don't realize that also. So some people eat only when they are hungry. If you are one of those, write yes in the chat box. Very few yes. Okay. Some people skip meals and binge on snacks. If you are one of those, write 2 in the chat box. Skip meals and binge snacks, chips, biscuits. Yes, Minar, you can make a mind map the way you have suggested. Eat large meals and stuff yourself when you are stressed. If this is, you write 3 in the chat box. So generally what happens is, when we are stressed, we don't want to stop eating because that's giving us comfort. Right? So when we are stressed, if you eat large meals and stuff yourself, write 3 in the chat box. A lot of you are listening. Perfect. So I will take questions in the end and I will answer this question then, right? Sneak food when others aren't around. If you do this, write 4 in the chat box. You just love sitting in your room alone with your favorite food. Right, and this could be once a month, once in 3 months, once in 6 months. But if this is what you do, please write in the chat box 4. If you are the one who has tried multiple diets and still is overweight or obese, write 5 in the chat box. So if you've tried multiple diets, you've done intermittent fasting, you've tried diets, you've left that, you've eaten that, but still you are obese, write 5 in the chat box. And if you are the one that if somebody, your room partner, your spouse, your parents, if they check your almiras or bags, they will find a lot of chips packet or chocolate packets or, any food goodies there, write 6 in the chat box. Anybody whose bag always has some goodies, write 6 in the chat box. Perfect. So the higher your score, the bigger emotional eater you are. Right? So if your score is 6, you need to make your mind map very seriously and figure out what is the eating pattern you have developed, which we have just figured out for you. And now we will see how we can get away from this eating pattern or habit. Are you ready? If you are, give me a yes with a triple S. Only 15, 16, yes. So others don't need it. So what we will do is these 16 people can connect with me and understand from me how we break these behaviors. So I'm getting some more. So now 22 people. So unless this numbers goes above 100, I'm not going to share it here. I'm going to connect with all those yes guys later separately. Perfect. So let's see how we can disconnect or break this eating habit which we have developed for so long, and how then we can keep our moods good, we can keep our weight well balanced, we can have a happy, active, alert life. So let's look at alternatives. The first thing is we have to manage to reduce our stress. And if there is one thing which I want to tell all of you to do is focus on your breathing 3 minutes a day. If you think 3 minutes is difficult, say D, capital D in the chat box, and I will tell you something else. But if you think 3 minutes you can do, this is the best solution to being stress-free. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Meditation is also a form of breathing. People who can't do meditation, only 3 minutes of deep breathing is good for them. Sleep, you don't know. Sleep quality has to be measured. 3 minutes of breathing. If you think it's difficult, write D. Otherwise, 3 minutes deep breath. Just deep breath with the focus that the air is going in from your nose to your head, to your neck, to your heart, to your abdomen, to your thighs, to your legs, and to your toes. And then the breath comes back the same way and you exhale it from your nose. And that's it. That really helps de-stress. Second, when you make this mind map, we have also written when do you eat those foods. The moment you read that when, you will get to know what is the stressor which makes you eat. Once you become aware of that stressor, what will happen? You will know before eating that you are going to eat because you are stressed. And what happens if we get to know beforehand? Can we change the route? If yes, type yes in the chat box. If you're traveling to some place and your GPRS or Google Maps shows you that there is traffic on one side, can you take the different route before you start from your house or not? Yes. 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 So the moment you will get to be aware of the fact that this has happened, now my mind is going to ask and I am going to give my mind this food. What will happen? The moment that stress will happen, and before you get that food, you will get few seconds to change the track. And how will you change the track? Either you will do deep breathing, or what will you do? Or you will switch to some hobby, or you can call your friend when you are stressed rather than going and eating food. You can call your family member. Yes, you have to divert your mind in doing something which you love, because food gives you comfort. Food gives you love. Food helps cortisol, right? So, just becoming aware can change the route your stuff will take, right? So, that point is exceptionally important for you to know. So, the mind map which you have made today, keep it with you. Keep adding and deleting on it for next 14 days. Right? And you will be very, very different. So let me share this with you. Now, this is very interesting story again. Do you see same lady 6 months later? Can you see how much she has lost in 6 months? Right? Her face has become half. Yes? Yeah. She lost 35 kgs in 6 months. And she was not able to do it, and she was always on yo-yo diet only because she realized her trigger. No, in this photograph, she's just got up and sent the photograph. Here, she's all decked up because this is her anniversary photograph, right? So makeup does make a difference, plus this is not in good lighting. But she's much healthier here than here. Right? Makeup does wonders. If you don't know that, you must try it and see. So what I'm trying to tell you is emotional eating does play a huge role, not only in our weight, in our moods, in our success, in the way we manage time, in the way we use our time, and quick promotions and how much money we will be able to earn. So if any of you wants any of these what I've listed, make sure that you find out your trigger and take a different route from there. Right? I have my phone number and email ID listed for you guys here. I will give you a minute to copy this, and then I will stop my screen share and I will take questions. So please, you can note my number and email ID. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out. Either to Antarman or to me. Perfect. Yes. And okay. So if you liked what you heard and if it made you think, right, do give me a thumbs up in the chat box. And can we now switch on our video cameras? I will love to see the participants. Can we switch on our video cameras and come online? Perfect. And so any questions, I'm happy to answer. You can unmute yourself, put your camera on, unmute yourself, and please ask. Yeah, any questions you have? Having food 2 times a day is a good practice. It will not impact your health. Just keep yourself hydrated well, because 65% of our body is water, 73% of brain and heart is water, and 83% of lungs is water. Right? Because we are living a very sedentary lifestyle these days, 2 meals a day is perfectly all right, Shabir. There was another question I had in between. Just a minute. So till then, if you have any more questions, please feel free to unmute and say. Hmm. Somebody had asked a question in between, and I had said we will answer that in the end. Okay, what is to be done when the shift is night shift? Who had asked this question? How many of you have night shift here? Please type 1 in the chat box. Just 10 of you? Okay, so it's rotation. Perfect. So, what to do during night shift? Remember, our digestive fire is low in night time. Our cortisol is low in night time. So, one, what we should do is we should make breathing our practice. Second, we should eat foods which have life. So I understand when you're working at night, that's your day and you have to eat 3 times, but try to eat foods which have life. So means no processed food, no junk food. Right? And third, when you sleep, make sure that before sleeping 1 hour, for 1 hour, you are not exposed to your laptop or to your phone. Right? And you sleep with some light music, maybe, rain falling, something like that, or some sleep meditation, so that your quality of sleep becomes very good. And if you do these 3 things, I think we are good to go. We should be all right. Any other questions? No? Perfect. So I have enjoyed the session. If you have enjoyed the session, can you give me a good clap in the chat box? I have not got it. I'm not happy with the number of claps I've got. I need a little more. Few more. Thank you very much. I wish all of you all the best. Stay home, stay safe, stay happy, and enjoy. You are doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful applause and clapping. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Preeti, for the wonderful session. I hope as much as I have learned it, everyone is taking something for themselves. I would request every participant to put one thing that they have learned from the session in the feedback. We would love to hear from you from what is your one learning that you are taking away from this session. Thank you so
Yes.
much once again, Dr. Preeti.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us for the session. We would love to hear from you. I would once again request everyone to share one thing that they have learned from the session. Yes, Minar, I'll get in touch with you and we can schedule a session for you with Dr. Preeti. Give me a minute, Minar, I'll look into it.